Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. This is going to be my rundown of the WWE live event from Stockton, California. It was December 6, 2013 for historic purposes out there in the world. And I had an awesome time. A lot of people hopefully will check out my video, my day in the life video that I posted up. It's just called WWE Stockton. And basically, I told the story there, so I'll try to tell the story as fast as possible. I had bought 3 tickets for 2 of my buddies. One of my buddy is Victor. I'm a Melfo on Twitter, and my other buddy is Mario, my buddy who went to Bound for Glory with me, and he's been in countless other videos with me. We started going to shows, and twice we sat next to each other and just made friends, and that's basically how it's been. And Mario is a good dude. He wasn't able to get off work in time to go to this show, which left me with an extra ticket. I invited my 8-year-old cousin Michael, who is a new and growing wrestling fan, who has really into it. This is the 3rd show that he's ever been to. He went to a live or a taped SmackDown. He went to the last live Raw. I got him tickets at the last minute for that one when I won the Doritos deal, and he had a ton of fun. He got to see CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, and everything, and he was just fired up. He wanted to see wrestling. He really wanted me to take him to the Sacramento show, but it wasn't able to turn out. I had to work today. I didn't get off work till a little bit after 8. The show there started at 7:30, so it just wouldn't have worked out. So I was glad that things worked into place. I was able to go pick him up. He honestly lives a good far away from Sacramento. Like, I was really buzzing down the highway. It took me an hour to get him. An hour one way to pick him up. He doesn't really live close to where I live, so it kind of sucked to drive out to where he was, but picked him up out of school, brought him back down into Sacramento to hang out for a little bit. We were able to meet some wrestlers throughout the day. Ran into Billy Kidman and Goldust earlier in the day. First wrestler that Michael was ever able to meet was Jack Swagger, one of my favorites, a really cool dude. When I told Swagger that Michael was meeting him and that was the first wrestler I ever met, he really went out of his way to make sure that he knew Michael would remember this. This is the day that Michael honestly will never forget from meeting his first patch of wrestlers and just going to the show. It was an awesome day for him. I'm sure he had more fun than I, and I had a ton of fun myself. But he took a picture with Michael, and Michael was really funny. Like, he wanted to get close to the wrestlers, but he didn't know how close he can get. So he's meeting a wrestler like this, like trying to shake their hand. Like, his hand is like up there, but it's not next to it. But I took a picture of Michael and Swagger, and then I took a picture, of course, because everybody knows that Swagger is one of my guys, and I've always really liked him. Always been a really big fan, and I said thank you very much. It means a lot to me that you were able to meet my cousin, and I said just so you know that you are one of my favorites, but you're the first wrestler that he ever met. And this is something he's going to remember for the rest of his life. So I said, thank you very much. And he said, hey, Michael. And he pulled him in, and he shook his hand. And he said, thank you very much. He said, you come into the show. And we said, yeah, we'll be there front row, and we'll be cheering for you, Jack. Thank you, buddy. And he said goodbye. He's an awesome dude. I mean, awesomely, really cool. Everybody knows that Swagger's one of my favorite, and he always will be for this reason right here. I've met him twice before. This is the coolest I've ever seen him. And right after that, we walked over. We met Kofi Kingston. Michael met Kofi. And it was really cool. Michael's always liked Swagger because I like Swagger and I've brainwashed him into liking him. But Kofi's another guy that he just really likes. Lots of kids gravitate towards Kofi. He's got the real colorful tights, and he jumps around and he does cool stuff. So I mean, it's understandable. Just to me, just Kofi just isn't. It isn't for me. But then again, not every wrestler is built to be everybody's family. Their favorite guy. It is what it is. We jammed down to the show. After that, somehow in this stuff, I heard that I missed Alicia Fox. We were in the same room together, but she went one way, I went the other way. I wasn't able to track her down. It was just fate. It wasn't supposed to be. Get down to the show. I never told Michael where our tickets were because we were sitting front row, and I wanted it to be a surprise. Get to the show just moments before he's like, he didn't even know how we got the tickets. I told him that I had to pick the tickets up when we went there. Like, when we paid to park, Michael was like flipping out, thinking that the girl was going to give us our tickets when we paid to park. He didn't really know how it worked out. We were just trying to surprise him and make it as cool as possible. You could think of if, I'm sure there's even older wrestling fans who would mark out if they got to get front row seats. And here you are going to your third show. You're 8 years old, and you're gonna be sitting front row. You don't understand that this is a house show and it's not televised or anything like that. It's just crazy. But, we it was weird. We pulled into the parking lot right across the street from the Stockton Arena, and we were actually the last person to be allowed to park in a parking lot. The girl took the $10, and she said, "That's my car right there. That's in the first parking spot. And I'm going to move my car. You park there, and then we're done." And I was like, it doesn't get any better than that. It must be front row. Get out, head into the arena. The easiest will call thing in the whole world. I told them how easy it was. It was awesome. But first match of the night was the Usos going up against the Real Americans. We were in the heel corner all night long. It was pretty cool. Michael was cheering for Swagger. Swagger remembered him. He was trying to heel it up, but try to be the kid's favorite wrestler at the same time. It was pretty cool. But Usos won. The Americans got a whole lot of heat on these guys. We got to see Cesaro did the swing. That guy is an awesome wrestler. The Usos are really good themselves. Stockton didn't have the biggest crowd in the world, but then again, it is a real small arena, real fun place to see it. I would go see another Stockton show. I'm following my buddy Zach. He is Zach Brown 19 on Twitter, formerly at In Zach We Trust for the past few years. But he also makes videos, WWE Punk Fan 19, and his show seems to be the same show that I went and saw last night, so I'm glad that I didn't see both. One major sort of change. I think the main event's different. Maybe somebody else is at the show as it all pans out. But the beginning part up to intermission was all the same. We got to see the Usos match. They beat the Real Americans. That was a real fun match to see. Second match was a real surprise. Some NXT guy that has the same body type of Michael Elgin. He fought Zack Ryder, and he beat him by submission. Ryder tapped. I was really, really surprised. I would guess if you're letting somebody beat Zack Ryder on a house show, like a kid's sort of favorite guy, you have plans for this guy, so we'll have to see where we go from there. Next match was the Funkadactyls going up against my girl, Alicia Fox and Ixana. Alicia Fox came out. I held up the sign. It said, "I came to get Foxy." She pointed right at me. Never 100% really knew if she remembered who I was or not, but I like to think that she does. But Alicia was laughing because I think Kasana came to do her entrance into the ring, and as she was, Alicia was standing like in the middle of the ring. Kasana was doing sort of like the "I want to be Velvet Sky" pose, where she like bends over the ropes to get into it, and she kept on taking her time forever. And I kept on making this motion, like "get the fuck out of the way," because I'm trying to take a picture of Alicia, and Alicia saw that, and I think she was laughing at it because she was having fun at something at least. But it was a good match. Alicia and me went back and forth. They kept on yelling to get Alicia in the ring, and she was like, all right. But she then at this one point she just sort of flipped into heel mode, and she was like, all right, no more woos. And it was awesomely pretty funny. It sucked that Alicia did take the pin in this match. I'm not a fan of Ixana at all, but when the heels exited, they exited on the other side of the ring. So I didn't get that moment with Alicia that I was looking for, but somewhere down the road our paths will cross again. Awesome match. Kofi Kingston fought The Miz, and one of the cool things is this match was going on, and they were going back and forth. The Miz got his mouth busted open pretty good. He was keeping the blood in and never really got onto the mat, but it was around his mouth, like it looked like he was wearing lipstick, especially since we were so close to the action. And as this match was going on, the Shield just came down, and Kofi and Miz put their feelings aside and ganged up like they were actually going to take on the Shield 2-on-3, and they held their own for a minute or two, but then they were able to start getting their ass whooped. That was broken up by Goldust and Cody coming out and having an awesome match that was worth the price of admission against Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. I thought it was pretty funny because they made an announcement that they were going to have a match, and it was going to be for the titles. That Goldust and Cody challenged him for him, and Dean Ambrose just, all right, that's it, I'm out of here. Like, he'll come down and he can kick some ass, but he wasn't going to stay at ringside and make sure that his boys won the match and got the titles. Nobody really said he had to leave. He just, all right, that's it, I'm gone. And they protected their gimmick. They came down through the crowd, but when Ambrose left ringside, he went to the back. And then when he came back out later to have his match, he came out of the crowd again. So how we got from the back to the crowd, I have no clue. But I don't really know. I've never really paid attention on Raws at the end of the matches if the Shield goes to the back or if they go through the crowd. I've never really paid attention. Anybody who's 11 minutes into this video and knows, just let me know. Next match was Ryback and Santino, in a match that everybody laughed at Santino's jokes and nobody gave anything to Ryback except crap. They did get the expected Goldberg chant, and Ryback used that, tried to get more heat against them by saying who, and the second he said who, the chants died because nobody wanted to help Ryback out. But Ryback got the win over Santino. Santino did get some pretty good offense in at one point, but he lost it all. Pretty funny comedy match. Good shit for a house show, for the pacing of stuff, but something that you never want to see on TV at all. It just was way too slow. Then you had Ambrose and Ziggler go for the match. I don't know if this had gone too long or people just didn't care, but it was funny. This match started, and Ambrose hit Ziggler in a move, and they were wrestling around on the ground. And, I mean, honestly, in the arena, you could hear a pin drop because I heard Ziggler go, I heard him say it clear as day. He meant to say it loud, but he just wanted Ambrose to hear it. He goes, I thought these people came to see wrestling and liked it. Something like that. It was clear as day that, like, he was making fun of the people because nobody was making any noise for this match, and that's it got a small reaction. I know I hooted for it and laughed, and then it's funny because Ziggler makes a lot of jokes. He was talking with the ring announcer dude, the guy from Monday Night Raw, who I'm spacing on his name, Roberts. Whatever his name is, who cares? He just was like, doing like stand-up comedy to the guy outside the ring. It was pretty funny. Ziggler's a classy dude. He didn't get the win as Ambrose picked it up, and Ziggler scooted out the back. Main event of the night was John Cena going up against Damien Sandow and Alberto Del Rio. Sandow and Del Rio, they put the beat down on Cena. Cena was able to sort of hit one outside the ring and go after the other. A normal Cena match. But it was good stuff. I mean, Cena was definitely what everybody came to see, everybody cheered for. He got the win. He held up the titles, did a little plug for TLC, making sure that you bought the show and saw him and Orton go at it. He came around the ring after the ring, and he had a moment with my buddy Michael that came to the show. And I mean, it was really cool because those are the things that make wrestling fans for life. I think that honestly, Michael is a pretty big fan, but I definitely think today he's a bigger fan. He got to have an actual conversation with John Cena, even though the conversation was just a matter of a few words. You can go on there, and I've watched the video 10 times today, showing it to people that I work with and stuff like that. But I'm sure that I'm playing it up as bigger than it is, and I've seen it over and over and over again. I still think that they shared tea and drinks, and Cena took a bite of his hot dog and all that. But I'm just, how stories in your mind will always be bigger than they actually were if you ever got to see them again. And I've actually seen them, and I still think it's bigger than it is. But for Cena to do that, it was just way cool. Michael was so lucky. There was 1,000 kids in that arena, and he picked him out of everybody because he was holding up a sign. And I mean, he passed by 3 boys that were his age or close to his age to talk to Michael. And it was really, really cool. It was really fun to hang out with Victor and meet some wrestlers. Michael was ecstatic that he got to meet Kofi Kingston, Jack Swagger. And he met Goldust and Cody as they walked around the ring with their titles, and he met Cena after the show. His mom's already printed out the pictures that he got taken with him and hung them up in his room. So Michael's riding the high today. I think everybody's had that high if they're a wrestling fan, and it was awesome. It was fun. I mean, we paid a lot of money to go to this show, but it was definitely worth it. House shows. Thumbs up. Peace out.